have stories of the dead coming back
to life to tales of the dead.
evil.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
The All-American Spookshow.
Hello, this is Josh from the All-American Spookshow Podcast, and we're finally here. The number 5 on our countdown of the top 13 favorite horror films, Halloween 2019 edition here for the All-American Spookshow Podcast. This is where the list, in my opinion, gets serious. I mean, not that these movies that have come before this aren't great, because obviously they are, we wouldn't have said so. But I think these are some of the best horror movies that there are in existence, starting here with number 5. So I won't waste your time any longer. Here's my number 5 pick.
In 1968, George Romero brought us Night of the Living Dead. It became the classic horror film of its time.
Not that room! Not that room!
Now, George Romero brings us the most intensely shocking motion picture experience for all times.
It gets up and kills. The people it kills get up and kill. This situation must be controlled before it's too late. They are multiplying too rapidly.
Dawn of the Dead.
Meet me on the roof at 9 o'clock. Getting out.
I don't believe it.
We're gonna
What?
get out in the chopper. We've got to survive. Somebody's got to survive.
They kill for one reason. They kill for food. They eat their victims.
Imagine, if you will, that something has gone terribly wrong.
Shoot it, man.
Now, accept the fact that there's no escaping the horrible consequences. George Romero brings back the dead. Night of the Living Dead has ended. Dawn of the Dead is here.
We must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends. They are not. They will not respond to such emotions.
Operator dead. Post abandoned. We may never get out of the room. It's everywhere. What the hell is it?
Looks like a shopping center, one of those big indoor malls.
What are they doing? Why do they come here?
Some kind of instinct, memory, what they used to do. This was an important place in their lives.
What is it?
We've got a war.
I'm afraid.
We have spawned our own savagery. Soon, it will consume us all. It is a horrible, hauntingly accurate vision of the mindless excesses of a society gone mad.
They must be destroyed on sight.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
We are down to the line, folks. We are down to the line.
Dawn of the Dead.
Hey, Vivian.
Anna, look, I can go backwards.
Let me see. Hey, that's amazing. Hey.
Hey, you. Vivian? Honey, are you okay?
Officials have declared a state of emergency. Everybody they kill gets up and kills.
Residents are advised to find a safe place and stay there.
I've just been informed that we are going off the air and switching to the emergency broadcasting system.
Look up the road, there's a lot more of them. Why are they coming here?
Maybe they're coming for us.
Sooner or later, they're gonna get in here.
Our baby's here before.
It's only a matter of time.
It's coming.
They'll find a way in.
Oh, God.
So for my number 5 choice, I guess I kind of cheated a little bit, but I guess it's not cheating if we're making the rules, right? For my number 5, I selected both versions of Dawn of the Dead. The original George A. Romero classic from 1978 and the remake from 2004 that was directed by Zack Snyder. I love both these movies for different reasons. I mean, I think obviously George Romero is the godfather of the zombie genre and one of the best horror directors of all time, of course. And then on the other hand, Zack Snyder's not too bad himself. I mean, he hasn't necessarily been known as a horror director, but I do think this is probably one of his best. The original from 1978 by Romero stars David Emge, Ken Faree, of course, Scott Renninger, Galen Ross. The vision that Romero had here, and just I think, obviously both movies are fairly similar in the plot of people trying to survive a zombie apocalyptic outbreak inside, and they hole up inside of a mall. I think back in that day and in 2004, they were very current and very timely to play it that way, in a mall, because you got that claustrophobic feeling of being, you could probably hole up inside of a place like that and survive for a while, but it eventually kind of drive you nuts, and I think that's kind of what you see in both movies is, that like I said, that claustrophobic feeling and everything. Yeah, I love both these movies. And in the 2004 version directed by Zack Snyder, that one stars Sarah Polley, Ving Rhames, Mekhi Phifer, Jake Weber, Ty Burrell, and a handful of others. I think the acting is a lot better in the 2004 version. That being said, the 1978 version just, kind of is what it is. I mean, they're both time capsules for sure, but they can definitely be compared pretty fairly in my opinion though. So for my number 5, I'm going to go with both versions of Dawn of the Dead from 1978 and 2004.
Hey, Cora, can you do me a favor and locate a patient for me?
Yeah, sure. Edward Solomon?
Yeah.
They had him backwards. Solomon Edward, he's upstairs in ICU.
From a bite? Hey.
Hey, you.
Call an ambulance.
I've just been informed that we are going off the air.
Look up the road, there's a lot more of them. Why are they coming here?
Maybe they're coming for us.
There's a man going around taking names, and he decides who to treat and who to blame. Everybody won't be treated all the same. There'll be a golden ladder reaching down. When the man...
Dawn of the Dead remake. I mean, surprise, it's a zombie movie for me. If this movie's on at any point, I don't care if it's near the end or the beginning, just perfectly in the middle, and I catch it on TV, I'm absolutely watching this movie. To me, it's one of the best remakes of all time. Just how fun it is, how... I think for me, the zombie aspect of just having to survive, to do what you need to do to keep you and your friends alive. I mean, I think this really reignited the run of zombie movies at this time. And I think it kind of goes, obviously it goes back to Romero, but I think this is really bringing it back from the lull that it had, like from the 90s.
Something beyond comprehension is happening to a little girl on this street, in this house. A man has been sent for as a last resort to try and save her.
All right, so my number 5 pick needs no introduction. It's the 1973 horror classic, The Exorcist, directed by William Friedkin. What can you say about this movie that hasn't already been said? It earns its place in the history of films and the history of horror movies as being one of the greatest horror movies ever made. The time it came out, it was nominated for quite a few Academy Awards. It was actually the first horror movie ever nominated for Best Picture. It didn't win that, but it did win 2 Oscars. I think one for Best Writing and Best Sound Design. It was actually also the first horror movie dealing with exorcism as the main theme. And after its success, of course, there was a flood of imitators that came out, exorcist, demonic possession movies. But of course, none of those ever surpassed, and nothing has, I think, surpassed The Exorcist in terms of demonic possession exorcist movies. None have even approached the level of writing and filmmaking ability, as well as the scariness for that matter. All the major actors in this movie are excellent. You got Max von Sydow, Jason Miller, Ellen Burstyn, all of the operating in peak form in this film. But I think special mention, of course, would go to Linda Blair with how much she had to go through in the making of this film, and at such a young age, definitely was a grueling process for her. The Exorcist, like I said, came out in 1973, which was the same year I was born. I don't remember how old I was when I first saw this movie, but I know I was probably way too young to have been watching it. I don't even remember what the circumstances were behind me seeing it. I know it wasn't like the family didn't say, "Oh, come on, we got this good family movie, kids, we're gonna watch The Exorcist." It wasn't like that, but I did see it at a pretty young and early age, probably too young to have been seeing it. And it did leave a huge impression on me. Scared me, of course, at that age, and was watching it through my fingers. Has lasted with me through the years. I don't know how many times I've seen this film, and I could just watch it countless more times, and will, I'm sure. So there you have it, The Exorcist from 1973, William Friedkin, written by William Peter Blatty. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know what the hell you're waiting on. Stop this right now and go watch it.
And there you have it. That's our number 5 favorite movie in the countdown. Be sure to come back tomorrow as we present our number 4 in the countdown. And once again, like I said, we're coming down the home stretch here, heading up to Halloween when you'll hear our number 1 picks. So I'm Josh, and for Will and the Professor Smoak, we are the All-American Spookshow Podcast. We'll see you tomorrow when we present our number 4 in the countdown.